looks like we're set. So if you want to pull up your slide.
Right, we go ahead and hit the share button here. And you see my current slide here?
I do not right now.
Oh, let me hit the share button.
There we go. Yep.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay.
Good. All right. So yeah, I'm going to take it away.
All right. I'm sorry, Allison, you want me to start
Yep.
going?
Yeah. So yeah, you can just, you can
Wonderful.
start. Yeah. Just
Yeah, you
like
bet.
if you just pulled this up. Yep.
Yeah. So the Village of Bayside has done some road brine case studies. And on these case studies, we've taken a look at past practices, the current past practices, as well as our goal and where we want to get to. So if we were to focus on this slide, there's a lot of words on this slide, so we just need to kind of look at more of the content. Let's take the kind of middle of the page here where it says same storm and 250 miles of travel span. Now, mind you, we have 46 lane miles of roadway here in the village, and we obviously travel those roads several times over and over again, clearing snow and applying de-icing, anti-icing materials. So under the past current method, when this case study was written, a storm like that, we might use 45 tons of salt. And it sounds like a lot, but that's 250 miles of nonstop driving and plowing, probably over a span of 18 to 24 hours. That salt would cost right around $3,150. Our goal and where we're really trying to push to, just using the science and the calculations of actual product, we're pushing to use around 2,500 gallons of brine in a storm of that nature with about 20 tons of salt, significantly reducing the amount of salt that we're utilizing to do the exact same service level of for the community. That cost we're looking at around that $1,650. So not only are we saving a significant amount of money, we're also reducing the amount of chloride, the amount of rock salt that we're utilizing. So on that last kind of overview there, it says old to new, a reduction of salt by 25 tons leads to $1,750 of savings, leading to a decrease of 50,000 pounds or 1,350,300 tablespoons of salt being used, resulting in 6,750 gallons of salt or water not being polluted. Those are really big things. We're obviously looking out for the economic impact as well as the environmental impact. We are continually striving to be better and look forward in winter maintenance here in Bayside. Kind of highlighting our capital improvement plan. The picture off to the right is our brand new Camion 995 gallon anti-ice brine applicator. We just took delivery of this thing late December last year. We're waiting on a couple parts yet so we can put it into service here. Due to the unprecedented supply chain issues, we've really had to reimagine how we go about our capital requisitions. And you'll see as we go down further through this list here. This year, we are converting one of our patrol trucks into a brine-only truck. That's what that tank off to the right-hand side is for. That truck will go out and do the anti-icing prior to the storm. And then it will have the capabilities. It'll still have the plows and the wing on it. It will have the capability to go out and actually work a storm as well. We're not quite at the point where we want to go to a liquid only route. We're still learning, we're still growing, and we're still experimenting so that we can make sure we can right size the service to the community and the department. In 2024, we should have taken delivery of it. We're right there though. It's 1 week out. We have a brand new 1 ton dump truck, plow truck that's coming into our fleet. This truck, we went away from the auger pan style spreader on the backside of the truck. And we actually have a slide-in unit with brine capabilities. So this truck will be liquid and granular application to work our cul-de-sacs, our tighter roads, in our parking lots so that we can really implement brine village-wide in all of our operations. We ordered a brand new patrol truck chassis last year. It's scheduled for delivery here in the next month or so. Through this whole process and due to the supply chains, years ago you could buy a truck and build a truck within a matter of 4 to 6 months, depending. Now you buy a truck and you wait a year, and you build a truck and you wait another year. So we're looking at getting this truck sent off, at the latter part of this year to be built, to hopefully be put in service at the very beginning of the 26 season. If not, it'll be the 26-27 season that this truck will actually see the road for snow removal. We also last year purchased 12,000 gallons worth of storage tanks for the brine that we make here in house. We have made thousands of gallons of brine already with that homemade brine maker that you saw earlier in the webinar. And we use a transfer pump to transfer that brine from our tanks into the storage tank. 25, 26, we're going to be looking at putting air road temp sensors on our entire fleet. As of the end of this month, we'll have 2 out of the 4 capable trucks will have road temp sensors on them. We hope to have road temp sensors on everything by the end of the year. Like I said earlier, with the patrol truck in 2025, we're going to be getting our new truck hopefully delivered and built towards the end of this year, taking delivery early 26. And then in the end of portion of this year, we're going to be taking the only truck that doesn't have brine on it, and we're going to be setting it up with pre-wet capable applications. And then the final thoughts I have is kind of the big picture for me is this: is Brian at first was intimidating. We wanted to figure it out. We needed to figure it out. And we think we have it figured out. There's always a learning curve. There's always growth that can happen. But stepping into brine and brine operations and brine applications, it's a lot easier than you might think. Truly clear visions and discipline is going to guide policies, the investments, and the overall operation and how it gets implemented. Calibrating your salting equipment is a huge step because your eye can't tell how much salt weighs. The old application techniques used by watching salt come off the spinner versus relying on our computers inside the truck to tell us how much salt is coming off the spinner. It wastes a lot of salt, and it wastes a lot of money, and it damages the environment. Train your crew. Step number 2 after calibration is train your crew. Train the department on policies, train the department on the vision, get the buy-in from your department to take your winter applications and your winter maintenance to the next level. Celebrate your victories. Big, small, it really doesn't matter. Celebrate them all. Victories are important to concentrate on, because even reducing salt usage by 1 ton in a snowstorm that would typically be equal, that's a huge win. It's a huge win in the pocketbooks for the taxpayers, but it's also a huge win for the environment. Lay out a long-term capital improvement plan. Talk to your local organizations and leaders like Saltwise, DNR, U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Seek and search for grants to help pay for this stuff. Lean on your local municipalities, your partners, your neighbors. Bounce ideas, talk. It's super important. There's a lot of people out there that helped get me started that will also help you guys get started. And the last thing I have, and we talked about this earlier in the webinars as well, is track your metrics. Fuel, miles, operator, truck. salt tons, brine, calcium chloride, or other additives, sand, etc. Track everything you're doing. You might find trends. You might find trends in your specific roads that may need a little bit more aggressive maintenance. You might find trends in operators that might lead you to an opportunity to have a conversation on retraining, to align with policies and reduction of salt usage. Um, Metric tracking is a huge piece of the puzzle. It helps you diagnose things that you might not even notice if it was just day to day. But when you start to see it year to year, storm to storm, month to month, you can really kind of dig into them a little bit deeper. So, Allison, thank you so much for having us on and giving us the opportunity to go over our winter maintenance here.
No, this is great, Shane. Yeah, as I'm hearing you share these kind of final thoughts, I'm seeing like each of those could be, if I was going to have like a conference, right, like for municipal staff who are wanting to take these steps, it's like, yeah, like one on metrics, right? Like what systems are people using, are folks doing Excel? I know we got some counties in the state that are getting fancier with, AVL tracking, but I mean, then that's huge as a data lake, not to talk about the expense of it, right? But like having people share kind of like how they're doing that, having kind of the session on, yeah, how do you get crew buy-in, right? Like what has worked in different places. And then definitely, I mean, yeah, going all the way up to like your first bullet there, like stepping into it, for people that are new. And you were really a great kind of resource at that event that we did last fall, I think, for a lot of people that are just a bit more hesitant, right? Because it is a new thing and new and different and scary. And yeah, I think, yeah, kind of like our conversations, like after that Brian roundtable, kind of continued to kind of have my gears turn, and I've been hearing a bit more even from like contractors in the Madison area that are getting started with brine and are hitting some road bumps, and I think just that need to like bring people together and have less of the an instructor like me or whoever just talking at and giving more time for those conversations. So I think a place where we're at right now and in at least a few different parts of the state.